Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you,
So
sir.
first thing on the agenda is election of the president and vice president.
Before we do that, Tom, can I ask, do we follow Robert's rules since I'm new to the board?
No. We've never
We don't follow
adopted,
Robert.
we've never adopted the Robert's Rule of Order, and I don't know if it's Chris, I think it was another attorney advised against it several years ago at a council meeting, because, and his reasoning was, if you adopt Robert's Rule of Order, then if there's any little detail in it that you don't follow, then it could make the whole meeting invalid. And there's no reason to adopt. He didn't at that time see any reason to adopt Robert's Rule of Order for every meeting. Chris, do you want to weigh in your opinion on that?
Yeah, that wasn't me that gave that advice. I don't know who it was, but commissioners, to my knowledge, have never adopted Robert's rules of order.
So what are the rules for nominations and elections?
Well, as long as we follow consistency, the way I understand, and what I'd like to do, and I was going to talk about this when we got to that place on the agenda, I'll go ahead and say it. We could take them individually, that I'll ask for a motion for someone to nominate a particular person, and I think we should take it individually, one nominee at a time, and then a second, and then a vote. So.
Okay.
That's our normal way of,
That would be typical, yeah.
typical way.
Nominations normally do not require a second, but that's okay. If you want to do a second, that's fine.
I want to do it as a motion and not necessarily nomination. And that's the way we've done it typically in the past.
Okay, as long as I know how it's organized. 'Cause
That's been the way we've done it in the past, and I don't mean, don't see any reason to change it unless somebody comes up with a reason to.
Nomination, vote, nomination, vote. That's what I'm hearing.
Do what?
So it's a nomination, a second to the nomination, and then we vote on that single nomination.
That's what we typically do, yes. A motion to approve so-and-so, and then a second to that motion, and then a vote. And then move on to the next.
Sorry for so many questions, but Robert's rules is what I'm used to, which is you nominate a series of people and then you vote on them individually. So I just want to make sure how it's going to work for you guys. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. If you're okay, then we'll go ahead with the election of president and vice president.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, this is Randy. I'll make a motion for Tom Hauser to be president.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made, second carried 3-0. And as far as vice president,
I don't agree with that. Regardless of what your rules are, there needs to be a verbal response on the vote. A motion and a second is not a vote. Sorry, I will have hardcore problems with that, regardless of whether you adopt Robert's rules or not.
okay. Back then, we got a motion and we got a second, then a vote. All
Yep.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay, aye, then all opposed would be by default 0. Motion passed 3-0. Okay. Vice President?
I nominate Randy.
Okay, and I'll second that. So I got a motion and a second, and I'll take a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Okay, and I also aye. Motion carried 3-0. Meeting schedule. Currently, we are the first Monday at 6 p.m. and the third Tuesday at
Yes.
8 a.m. That's what the 2020 schedule was. Any discussion?
What was the times on the two again, just to make sure I'm.
The first Monday at 6 p.m.
Uh-huh.
and the second Tuesday,
Third Tuesday.
third Tuesday at 8 a.m.
And there are some exceptions to that when there's holidays and such.
Sure. And special meetings and things. Yep.
Yes. And any special meeting has to be, well, Teresa, go over the requirements of special meetings.
You have to have at least 48 hours advance notice. It's 2 business days for any other meetings that you call, just as you do on regular meetings.
And it has to be posted.
Hey, Greg, this is Randy. Are you okay with that 8 o'clock meeting on the third Tuesday?
On the third Tuesday?
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay. I often wondered how Pam and Teresa feels about 8 o'clock, because that's when, if we ever get back to having regular meetings at the courthouse, 8 o'clock is actually when they start to work, and a lot of times they get in there early just because we got a commissioner meeting. And I didn't know if that schedule would work with you, Greg. If not, we can move it back to 8:30 or 9, even if we had to, just for convenience
well,
for the employees and
as
stuff
far
like that.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Randy, I'm okay with moving it to 8:30 or 9 for them. But for me, it won't matter.
Yeah.
I semi make my own hours. So,
Yeah.
but
And actually,
if it helps them, I'm all for it.
yeah, and actually, the way my schedule works, it would help me a little bit too, if we would move it to that little bit later time, especially with what I do on the farm right now. So in the morning.
I do have one thing I have to say. There is going to be some openings of some bids for an Okra grant that had to be already advertised, and it was advertised for 8 a.m. on the 19th. So if you do want to schedule your third Tuesday of the month meeting at a later time, I just ask that you wait till February to do that, because we've already have that advertised.
Will that help you out moving, other than the one on the 19th? Does that help you out, Pam and Teresa? I mean, if it does, I'm all for it.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me which way,
Okay.
Doesn't matter. to
whatever
me.
works better for you guys.
Well, it's just, if it's okay, let's just stay with the 8 o'clock. That's what everybody's used to. So I just wanted to bring it up. So
Are you guys gonna make a motion?
No,
Yeah.
So I motion to keep the meeting schedule for 2021 the same as it was for 2020.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion made and second. I'll take a vote then. Randy,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0. Keep it as 2020 was. Next thing on the agenda is the state of the courthouse, open to the public or not. I know on the agenda, it says status of closing of the courthouse. I just wanted to make it clear that what we passed was the courthouse was not closed, it just closed to the public traffic. That it was still open to appointments, and we are open for business. It's just closed to public traffic. Our last action on that was that we was going to remain closed to public traffic or appointment only to today, January 4th. So any discussion on that to extend it out? I will say that to make the people at least less confusing, if we go at least 2 months to continue the way it is, and with the climbing the climbing rates of the COVID-19. It's not falling, it's actually closing. I think the positivity rate today was like 14.7%. That's one of the highest ones it has been. With the
I'll go to the porch.
with the vaccination starting to take off, then, but it's going to be a slow process. I believe, for my opinion, for the safety of the workers and the general public both, and to be able to stay in business, which I think in the past couple months we've done very well with that, to stay in business and not be forced closed completely because of that. I personally think that we should close it keep it at the same status through February and until our first March meeting. That's my opinion. Randy or Greg?
Yes, on the appointments, is the officers making the appointments in case somebody has to come in to meet them face to face? Is that happening?
Yes, it is in my office.
Okay, I think it should happen because there's a lot of things can be done virtual and through the mail and stuff like that. It's just some things have to be face to face. So I just want to make sure that's clear that we are doing that. So, but I agree, Tom. I think our county's floating on red again this week. We might want to know by the middle of the week. I really think we ought to go month by month right now and decide on the next 1st of February. Then you can always do what you need to do through executive order. If it clears up by then, which it doesn't look like it's going to. So then we have to meet within a week, I think, right, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah. So my opinion, I think we need to go month by month and revisit it next month on the first meeting of the month. So Greg, I'd like to have your input on that too. So
Yeah, I'm more apt to open it up a little bit, but I do want to compare us to the court. And I know that they are on a different system than we are. They are actually mandated by the state, not by us. But does anybody know what the Lucy side of the courthouse is doing?
Yes, they're not doing any in-person or jury trials, I believe, at least through the end of January. And I think that they're
No jury trials through March. No jury trials through March, the last I heard. But now I don't know about hearings.
Right. Well, Lucy informed me that the hearings may open up as early as the 1st of February or the month of February.
I think we need to follow what the court's doing. I think that's what we did back in March, kind of be on the same page as what the court side was doing, because for confusion for the public, if one side's open, the other side's not. So I think we need to be, and I think that's part of Tom's job, and he's communicating with Lucy on that probably weekly. And so he's on top of that right there. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, is that we're consistent between one another. And also that also reflects what the state is more likely to be doing too. So I'm okay with following that lead. So.
Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I'll make that motion, Tom. Keep the courthouse closed to the public, but stay open for business until what is our February meeting? What date is that on? So
The 1st?
the 1st of February.
Yeah, so it'll be through the February 1st, so no confusion that February 1st, it's still closed.
Yes, it'll be that night. We'll make a decision again at that time. So
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion. I got a second. Got a vote. Randy?
yes. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion made, second, and I'm also aye, so motion made, second carried, 3-0. Oh, Pam, are we clear on the motion?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Okay, you're next on the agenda then, Pam.
Yes, the first thing I got is the blank is the bonds for the county employees and the elected officials. Harper Nels has prepared in that we have been using the last few years, couple years. It's the same bonds we do every year. Everyone falls into a blanket bond with certain different amounts, except for a few that have to be bonded higher. And that is the treasurer. She has to be bonded at 300,000. The first deputy treasurer is 150,000. The second deputy treasurer is at 50,000, and the sheriff is at 60,000. And then all the rest of us employees and elected officials fall under the blanket bond. So I just
And those
need,
amounts are all by Indiana code?
yes, yeah, and now it's being done as positions and not by names. So that way we don't have to change every time an employee leaves. As long as the position is there, then we're okay.
Good.
So I just need a motion to approve these, and I can get them back and get them recorded and get them back to Harper Nels.
On the materials given to us, there wasn't a total amount for that. Is there, do you have that?
Yes, I do. Hold on, you want the total?
Yeah, just the total, that's fine.
Okay, I can give you that in just 2 seconds. The total was $2,938.
I make the motion to approve the blanket bonds for the county employees.
And I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second. Take for a vote. Randy,
Yes.
Greg,
Aye.
okay. Motion made, second carried 3-0.
Okay, the second thing I have is on some insurance items. I have been emailing those back and forth to you, I think, all day. Some different things that's been sent my way, and Ron Maines from Apex is on the meeting. And I would like for Ron to explain all this stuff to you, so that way, it was some things that has come up that was asked of me and my payroll deputy, Tasha, and we felt these were items that was a little above our head that needed to have commissioner's approval as far as what changes need to be done. So Ron, I'm gonna let you speak.
All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. My name is Ron Maines from Apex Benefits. I hope you're all doing well this evening. 2 items to discuss regarding to the insurance plan. The first one is for dialysis treatments. When the plan was put in place a couple years ago, it was a carryover from what was in place with the prior TPA, and it had a limited number of dialysis treatments that would be available on a per year basis, and that count was at 50. I will tell you at the point in time, whether you had gone with UGS or stayed with GPA, both TPAs were putting forth their recommendation that it be changed to an unlimited number of dialysis visits. Because for someone that is in these dialysis kidney treatments, 50 of them can go by very quickly, and then they would have been in a very difficult physical condition towards the latter part of the planned year. I think the reason it was put in place, that 50 limit, and it does predate Apex, was because I think at one point in time, you may have had someone that was getting a lot of dialysis treatments, and to be very forthright, they are expensive. They are very expensive, but they are life-saving procedures for someone up until they're able to get a transplant. And you do have your specific stop loss account. So if those claims for that individual rose to that level, stop loss would start reimbursing for this dialysis treatment. So really, there's not a good reason to maintain that 50 limit to dialysis treatments. That's the first item.
Do we need to take these separately? I think maybe we should.
Probably.
Yes, Tom, I talked to Pam about this today. I really thought, and Ron, I really thought we changed that a few years ago, but I guess it slipped through the cracks and we didn't get it changed. I thought we changed it to unlimited treatments on dialysis. I am totally in favor of that because, I mean, that could be a really financial burden on an employee. So we need to have the unlimited treatments, my opinion. So,
Well, yeah, and I agree with you, Randy. The normal is at least 3 times a week. I mean, if somebody's in renal failure, then they need dialysis generally 3 times a week. And I don't know anybody that gets over renal failure that quickly. So I agree with you, Randy, that it should be unlimited. I can't understand why 50 ever was put in place, but I don't remember doing that.
That's been there since we were with Dunn & Associates. But I was
Yeah,
kind of like Randy, I thought we had changed it, but the book does have it set at 50.
yeah, we went to a little situation that brought it to our attention several years ago, and I would have put money on it that we had changed it, but it slipped through the cracks. It needs to be changed. So,
Yeah.
Right, and the stop loss protects us, so, from catastrophic.
So with the stop loss, how much would we have lost if they did go over their 50 treatments? How long before the stop loss actually keeps us from having additional cost?
It depends upon the cost of the treatment, so I can't be specific to that. But the way the plan was set up right now is once an individual had 50 treatments, the plan stopped coverage. And any additional treatments would have been on the shoulders of that plan member without insurance for that specific benefit.
Okay, I understand that, but I was just asking what's the potential risk is what I was asking, which is
Oh,
how much before we hit the stop loss?
I got you. You're wanting to know what your specific stop loss threshold is. And
Yeah.
you know something, I can, I'll have to circle back to you. I need to grab some paperwork. I don't have that at my fingertips at the moment.
Isn't our stop loss at 60,000, Ron?
I can't remember, Pam. That's what I was gonna have to look up. But if that's what it is, that would be the dollar amount. Your specific threshold would then, if it's 60,000, that would be the amount. And that's
And what is,
and the 60,000 is for all benefits combined, not on a per benefit. So if that individual had something going on besides the dialysis treatments, all of those monies that they expend go towards that $60,000 threshold.
any additional cost to the premium by doing this?
No, I don't believe so. I've put the stop loss carrier on notice, and this is something I don't think that they will object to. Obviously, it does put them at financial risk, but having it at no limits is very common. Having a limit is very uncommon. So I've already put them on notice about that. I did not get any pushback from the stop loss carrier.
Then I motion to move it to unlimited treatments per year as long as there is no additional cost to the premium.
Okay,
did you add that to my motion then, Greg, or?
Yes, I'm amending your motion to have that.
okay.
I think it's something we have to do, no matter if it does cost us a little bit more, in my opinion. So,
But I would like to know what that cost is before I agree to it in a blanket order. So if there's an additional cost to the premium, you come back, tell me what it is, and then we'll make the decision. But I'm not gonna not have a number for the premium and make a decision without it. This covers us in case the premium cost is too high. I know that might be minor and silly, but it is a way to protect us from knowing what that premium is. So if there's no cost change to the premium, it's gonna go through. If there is, then we get a second chance to look at it. There's no
hey,
harm.
Ron, how quick can you get something back on that for us?
in a
Probably
day.
within, I would almost hope with this week for sure, Tom or Randy.
Okay.
We can table it till the next meeting then. Is that okay, Ron, or will that mess up the?
Well, Tom, as far as the timing is concerned, we're working with GPA to try to get your plan document loaded into their claim system, to get the stop loss carrier wants to see that plan amendment to formalize all that. So delaying in another 2 weeks probably would not be in the best interest.
So if we put a contingency on it, then that's the
come back
thing
to
that's not making a decision.
Correct. If it's, I'll be working with Pam and she'll know whether there's going to be an increase or not, and she'll be able to communicate that to you all after, once we get that information back from the stop loss carrier.
Well, my opinion, I know where you're coming from, Greg, but if it is an increase in the premium, I would still vote for it just because of it's the right thing to do and it's for our employees. So
There's currently no one using dialysis, right?
There is not.
Either.
So right now, guys, as I understand it, Randy had made a motion to approve the unlimited. Greg made a motion to amend that motion to make that contingent on no premium increase. So I don't believe either motion has a second yet. So,
Not that I've heard.
pardon me, Pam?
Not that I've heard either. That's what I wondered.
So I think it would be appropriate to see if there's a second on Greg's motion to amend. And then if there is, fine. If not, we would go to a second on Randy's motion. Does that make sense?
Yes, so we need to do the amendment first.
I would, yes.
Okay. Randy, do you want to second it or choose not?
well, I'll stand with my motion, what I made.
Okay, I don't, at this time, I don't choose to put a restriction on it either. I don't want to second that motion, but I will second Randy's motion to go ahead so we can move forward. We've made so many changes in the past couple months that we need to get this finalized. We're already after January 1st, so that's my second to that motion. So I've got a motion. Randy made the motion and I second it. So we'll go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Nay. Nay.
Okay. And I will vote yay. So the motion is made and second and carried 2-1 to go ahead and amend it, the plan with no restrictions to unlimited dialysis treatments. Is that what you needed, Ron?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Should we move on to
Okay.
the second subject?
Yes.
Okay, so the second subject is regards to your pharmacy benefit for the medical plan. You all had already approved the move to the PBM of TrueRx, which is a pharmacy benefit manager located out of Washington, Indiana, so not too far down the road from you all. They have some special unique programs that Apex is working with them to help reduce pharmaceutical costs, high cost specialty medications that are to the positive for both the member and the employer, i.e. the medical plan. They specifically refer to this as their TrueRx advocacy program. And this is strictly limited to specialty medications. We're talking about medications such as injectables, medications that are usually in the thousands of dollars per month and could lead into, if not high thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on an annual basis. Currently, you only have 2 plan members that are on a specialty medication. You've had as many as 3 members on a high cost specialty medications. And for reference purposes, I had shared some information with Pam earlier today. And it was, one of them was this graph. I don't know if you have a copy of it with you. Is this graph that I showed where your specialty medication costs were over the last several quarters. And really your specialty medication costs to the plan have averaged anywhere from 25 to 40% of your prescription drug cost. So you've had either 2 or 3 members literally responsible for 25 to 40% of the entire medical plan RX spend on an annual basis. So, you know, that's indicative of the fact that just a handful of people can make a very significant cost in specialty medications. These are the kind of medications you see on the advertising on the television, you know, during the news or some of these other things from that standpoint. And to help combat that cost, TrueRx does offer a advocacy program. And the nuts and bolts of the program are this. If an individual already is on a specialty medication or someone that is newly prescribed one of these high cost medications, if this advocacy program is put in place, the TrueRx team reaches out to that specific member and they try to do so by phone call to the greatest extent possible. And they request for that individual to provide their individual or their family income levels, which is usually accomplished via W-2s. I realize that's a very personal piece of information, but that information is then used by this TrueRx team that's specially trained for this program to reach out to the drug manufacturer of that medication itself, knowing that each of those drug manufacturers has a financial assistance program. They have hundreds, if not millions of dollars set aside by that drug manufacturer to help individuals pay for high cost medications. And what this TrueRx advocacy program attempts to do is to get approval from that drug manufacturer for either highly discounted or completely free cost of that specialty medication. If it is approved, that means the individual is not responsible for any co-pays, co-insurance, or deductible towards that medicine. And that also relieves the medical plan from paying its portion towards it. If by chance the individuals are not approved by the manufacturer, primarily due to their income level, then the plan would process that specialty medication just like they would as of right now. So it's kind of really a situation where we are attempting to asking if you want to put this program in place to attempt to reduce the specialty med cost to the plan and to the member. If so, it's great. And if not, it still processes through and is covered just like it has been up to this point in time. That's my nuts and bolts explanation to the program.
Well, I noticed on your, what you sent,
Uh-huh.
that you have the options that we can make the specialty drug white glove service optional to the people, or we could enforce it that everyone in the plan follows that, or the third option would be to exclude the all specialty drugs from,
Just keep it at, the third option would just to keep it as is, just like you've always had. So
So the first option to force all or enforce all of it, that we're not restricting the medication to the patient.
Nope.
We're just requiring them to make sure that all of the resources to reduce cost are being utilized.
That's correct, sir. Yes, yeah, they're requesting, so you would require that member to provide the information to the TrueRx advocacy team so that advocacy team can do their work to reach out to the manufacturer to see if it can be provided at no cost or greatly reduced cost. And from that standpoint, if it is, wonderful. If it's not, if their manufacturer says, nope, they're not eligible for our patient financial assistance program, the claim, the medical benefit the RX benefit is processed just like it has been for the last many years.
Okay.
So
we're not asking them to go back to their provider and ask for a different medication. We're just making, okay.
It's strictly an opportunity to reduce the financial, implications of the program.
Yeah. Well,
So to follow up on Tom's question, there's no forcing them to go to a generic or anything like that, correct?
No, it's nothing about like that at all. And quite honestly, for these kind of specialty medications, there's often not a generic version of it. That's why they're so darn expensive to begin with.
yeah, because I entered one of those programs with one of my medications through my provider. I'm not on the county insurance. I'm on a different plan, and it took my copay. I mean, wasn't much, it's $40 a month, but it took it to zero.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, these programs are real. And
Right,
I think
these-
take advantage of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to put the copay assistance program in place to make sure we're taking advantage of that for the members to the greatest extent possible. But this is kind of taking it to the next level. This is a very unique program from the standpoint of literally the PBM, TrueRx, acting on behalf of the plan member and the medical plan itself to try to get those high-cost specialty medications for free or greatly reduced cost. And it's all within the four walls of TrueRx, the PBM itself. So it's a unique program that Apex and TrueRx have worked together, and we're implementing it across many private and public organizations. I have several other counties that are doing this exact same program.
And their personal information, their income information and all that is protected. Correct.
Absolutely. There is a business associate agreement in place from that standpoint. Yes. Quite honestly, you as the employer wouldn't see it. Apex doesn't see it. It's between the member and TrueRx so that they can do the work with the manufacturer.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, I got a question for you. On those special drugs on the copay, when they go to and pick them up, are they higher than the normal copay of $3?
They can be, Randy. I mean, lots of times it depends upon the benefit, but especially medications. In a lot of plans, to be honest with you, are on like an deductible co-insurance situation. So, you're talking about co-insurance levels. These high cost medications, people end up paying towards their deductible and their co-insurance. And quite frankly, a lot of these folks end up hitting their out-of-pocket maximum, that threshold, very quickly in the year. And they're basically done for the rest of the year putting out. But at the same time, the plan is still paying out the vast majority of the cost for that medication on a continuous basis. So it benefits both the plan and the member.
That's what I was going to say. It actually could benefit the employees because they might not be out their deductible at the end of the, if they don't have anything else besides medication throughout the year.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. What if they refuse to do that? Then it just falls back to the normal?
You see, and Randy, that's the option between in effect, I'm going to use the word mandated versus the optional. I showed bullet A or bullet B from the standpoint. A, if they have to provide the information, or they're not going to get the medication covered by the plan. They've got to provide the information under option A. That's the only way they wouldn't get the medication, is that they absolutely refuse to follow the plan requirements of providing their information to see if it can be gotten for free firsthand. Okay. Option B is Apex or TrueRx team tries to contact the individual. If the individual says, nope, I'm not doing it, at some point in time, TrueRx is going to need Perry County to say, okay, we're going to allow it to go on without the TrueRx advocacy program. So, the employees could push back against it, and you don't realize the potential savings of the program that would be otherwise available.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Greg, do you have any more questions or comments?
No, we've used this in the past for both of my children when they had some medication needs, and it actually is it wasn't TrueRx, but it was programs like that, and it was actually a very good thing for us on a family. Reduced our costs quite a bit. So,
just to give you an idea, you all are average on a per quarterly basis from looking at Q3 of 2020 and back through the multiple quarters for that. Your high cost specialty drug spend on a plan basis is running anywhere from $22,000 to $40,000 per quarter. So, and once again, that represents approximately 25 to 40% of your entire prescription drug plan benefit cost per quarter. So you've got maybe 2 or 3 people that are eating up 25 to 40% of the cost of your prescription drug benefit. And once again, this program would be a way for them to get the medication free and potentially reduce much, if not all of that cost off of the county. You're looking for ways to save money. This is a fabulous way to do so. But it's your choice. Obviously, the members would have to provide their personal information, and I realize that could rub some people the wrong way. So that's why I know that Pam wanted you all to be able to have the decision-making capacity for this program.
Now, is there any additional cost for this program, or is this part of?
What Tom, way that works is that TrueRx keeps, as I'm going to call it, a finder's fee in effect of 15% of the savings that the county gets from someone that is approved. Okay, so TrueRx is going to do this if it gets approved, they're going to calculate the savings, i.e. how much this medication would have cost if the advocacy program didn't work, and charge you that 15% for that individual. So you're still saving a considerable amount of money by doing so, right? And if it's not successful, if the drug manufacturer says, nope, not eligible, that's going to process through the plan just like normal, and there's no additional cost from that standpoint. So only if TrueRx has a positive outcome for the plan and the member.
It's a profit sharing type of scenario.
Yeah, it's kind of a finder's fee in effect.
Yeah, it's a profit thing.
Well, we could do it for a while and then watch it closely. And
You'd want to do it, when you say a while, Tom, I would say you'd want to put it in place for the entire plan year, just to be,
right,
just
that's what I
for
mean.
clarification.
Yeah, to keep track of it and track it closely and see what kind of savings we have.
Mhm.
Yeah, and add to that,
I will-
any savings we save, the employees need to realize that that's keeping our costs down, just, and that could future eliminate any expenses to them with premium increases too. I mean, anything we can do like that, we probably need to be doing it to protect the premium increases later on down the road. So, after hearing everything, I'm good with it. I think so.
And that was part one to the information. So you all I don't know if you want to take a vote on it and then move on to the second half of it, or do you want me to go ahead and explain the second half before you take your vote?
But go ahead and explain the second half.
Okay.
And we will,
right.
we may entertain that as one motion.
That's what I was kind of thinking, Tom. The second half basically comes down to it's in regards to your two individuals that are currently on a special medication that falls under this advocacy program. Your choices are, as I've listed out, you could grandfather those two individuals on an indefinite basis, i.e. not require them to go through the advocacy program and keep things as is for those individuals where the plan is paying the vast majority of the cost and they're paying their portion. You could grandfather them for like a 3 months or 6 months or a 1 year period, i.e. give them time to be notified to understand what's coming down the pipe, or go ahead and put them into the situation where they're required to go through the advocacy program from the get-go here to see if we can get some immediate savings for the county and those as individuals. So it's just a matter of how you want to treat the folks that are currently receiving medications. Once again, it's only two individuals. That's great news right now. It's just a matter of how you want those two individuals to be affected.
So
Is there any potential for a lapse of meds with any one of those scenarios?
The lapse, no, sir. That's a great question. From the standpoint that these advocacy programs can sometimes take 4 to 6 weeks for their approval, for the submission of the information, the approval process from the manufacturer. So what always happens is, in the vast majority of cases, is that TrueRx does run the benefit for that individual through the plan, just like it always has, for at least 1, if not 2 months until a decision process has come to. So that way, those individuals are not anybody, whether current or someone just being prescribed that medication, they aren't prevented or delayed from getting that medication.
That would have been my biggest concern on any of the scenarios.
That's a very fair question. I'm glad you asked it. Thank you.
So Ron, was the first half strictly on new patients with specialty drugs and the second half is on the 2 current ones?
It's yes, in effect, Pam, that's correct. From the standpoint, I mean, the first one is, what do you want to do in general? Do you want to make it required for people to run through that program? Number 2, option B is optional if someone wants to go through it, or number 3, you don't want to do it at all, right? That's the first set. The second set of decisions is for the individuals that are currently on a special medication.
Okay.
Do you want to grandfather them indefinitely? Do you want to grandfather them for 6 months to allow them time to know that they're going to have to submit their information at some point in time? Do you want to grandfather them for a year? Or do you want to require them to be required to submit their information now, in effect, for our advocacy team to reach out to them within the next few days to see if we can get them flipped over to getting that at no cost and start the savings as soon as possible for them and the county plan itself.
Okay.
And that's what I've got, gentlemen.
Okay. Randy or Greg, you have any more comment or entertain a motion? I'd like to see it, the motion Well, I'd like to see it probably two separate, so we are clear about it.
Probably a good idea, Tom. I'll make a motion to, I think it's plan, was it A that makes it mandated
Yes.
to the employees?
A is mandatory.
Yeah.
Greg?
Oh, do you want me to second? Are
We have
you doing A
comment-
just mandatory? Are you doing, you're doing just the first part first? So yeah, I'll
Yes,
second it.
okay. Motion made and second. A vote, Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second carried 3-0. I vote aye. Okay, any motions on the second part?
I like the 6 months, waiting 6 months and putting it in effect for those employees. Just because that gives them a little time to, if they have to contact Apex and get the full details. I know it could cost us a little money, but I think we need to do it for the employees that's on that. If that, I'll make a motion for the 6 months.
Okay, and that's option B is what we, in the presentation that he gave us.
I'm okay with that, but I think we probably need to contact those individuals so that they know about the program, make sure that they realize it well in advance. They may want to take advantage of it right now because it's going to save them money. So,
Yeah,
but yes, I'm okay with that. Second.
okay.
Yeah. And I will tell you, part of the program is that when individuals are identified, such as these two individuals currently, or if someone turns in a prescription, at that point in time, there is a requirement to contact the county to collect contact information so that that TrueRx team can reach out to the individual to explain the program.
Mhm. Okay,
So they would be made aware of it. And if they wanted to, we could get them up and running sooner versus later, their choice.
Okay, and that wouldn't affect us, Ron, on our decision to make it at 6 months? And that was a good point, Greg, what you just said. If they want to jump in right now, they'll be able to, right, with this motion?
yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
That's my
Yeah.
understanding. That's my understanding too. That's why it's the best of both worlds. If they want to do it right away, they can. If they don't, then it gives them 6 months to get it all together. So,
Okay.
I do have one other question. When it comes to the program, and you asking us for their contact information, are there any HIPAA rules or anything like that that we got to be aware of? I mean, will this all be done by? Who's this done by inside the office? Is it?
Yeah, we would.
Pam or?
Yeah, it would be Pam, and it's providing, in most cases, what they're asking for is the mobile number or a phone number, whether it's home or mobile number to reach out to an individual so that and it's the TrueRx team that literally does this by reaching out to the individual, calls and talks to them, explains the program, and is able to provide them a list of documentations that's needed for the advocacy team to do their work on their behalf.
And I'm assuming Pam signed some sort of HIPAA documents to know that what she can and can't share and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir. And there is.
I know
always-
you do the right. I know you do the right thing, Pam. I'm just dotting the i's and crossing the t's
That sounds
for
fine.
your sake and ours.
Sure. There was it was a business associate agreement already signed between TrueRx and Perry County. The nice thing about this is you all are having a direct contract now with this PBM. Whereas in the past, and for like most others out there in the world, a PBM contract was actually held by the third-party administrator, i.e. a GPA, a UGS, wherever the case may be, and it was not as transparent. This is a much more transparent financial and work relationship directly between Perry County and TrueRx, the PBM, from that standpoint. So you all have a BAA between your two organizations.
Okay, I had a motion and second, you did second it, correct, Greg?
Absolutely.
Okay, motion made and second. We'll go for a vote. Randy,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
I also vote aye. Motion made, second carried 3-0. We go with option A, that it is mandatory, and on the grandfathering, that it's grandfathered after 6 months.
Thank you,
And
sir.
that's all I got, Tom.
Pam, will you send me an email so I had that in writing, please?
Yes, I will. And thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Thanks.
Have a
for
good
all-
evening, everyone. Thank you very
Thanks,
much for
Ron.
your time. Stay safe out there.
Okay. Next on the agenda is board appointments, or yearly board appointments. As they come, they are actually, I don't know what order we had them. I think what I want to do here is have Teresa, if you will, we'll take each one, and if you read the title of it, and then who is currently held there, and the pertinent information on that. And we'll try to get through these. Some of these we have no choice on, but we do need to go through them. So Teresa will take each individual one, and I'll ask for action among the commissioners.
Okay, if you all have any further information you want, then just let me know. The first thing I have is the ADA and Title VI Coordinator. You revisit this appointment every year. It's a one-year appointment, and it has to be a county employee. And currently I'm that ADA and Title VI Coordinator, and we have had no other interests. So I'm willing to stay on if you so desire.
And I
Okay.
vote for that.
Mhm.
I thank her for it.
Me too.
Okay, I'll make a motion for Teresa to stay on.
I second it.
Okay, motion made and second. Go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Okay, motion made, second, carried 3-0. Next one?
Okay, next appointment is the Alcoholic Beverage Board. It's a one-year term, and you have one appointment to that. Your current appointee is Mark Howland, and you may recall that you just appointed Mark back in October after a 10-month vacancy in that position. There have been no other interests other than Mark. He said he would like to be reappointed.
Discussion or motion?
I motion that we accept Mark.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. Go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Okay, motion made, second, carried 3-0 to reappoint Mark Howland. Next one is.
Okay.
Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay, next is the Convention, Recreation, and Visitor Promotion Commission. There are 3 appointments on this board. They are 2-year terms. Current appointees are Dan Adams, Cindy Taylor, and Mark Laughlin. I have heard back from Dan and Cindy indicating they would like to be reappointed. There have been some new interests as well. We have Brianne Walsh, Beth Hauser, and Charles Parker.
I'd like to nominate Brianne Walsh.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made, second, carried, and so go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second, carried 3-0. And by the way, what we will, just so people understand, it is required by Indiana state statute that if there are at least 2 members that have applied, willing to serve on the board that have to do with lodging, then we must put them on there. And the other one is Mr. Newton, who was appointed last year, and Brianna makes Number two, because, we really didn't have much of a choice by state statute that we needed to put Brianna on there because there's no other interest and no other person involved directly in lodging.
No, she's very active in the community and got a good business head on her, so she'll be a great addition.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, you still have two other appointments to make.
I'll make a motion for Dan Adams.
Second,
You said, okay, you seconded, motion made and second. Randy, vote.
Aye.
aye.
I also vote aye for Dan. He's been very active and I think he does a lot of the legal work. So, motion made, second carried 3-0. Third one?
I'll make a motion for Beth Hauser. She's been trying to get on this board and I think she'd do really well for the last 3 years, actually. I would like to see her on this board. So I make a motion for Beth.
Second,
Okay, motion made and second. I'm going to abstain because of the relationship. So I'll take a vote now. Randy
Aye.
and Greg.
aye.
So I got a vote 2-0 or 2-0 and 1 abstention to put Beth Hauser on the CVB. Okay.
Okay, all right. Your next board is the EMA, Emergency Management Agency Advisory Council. These are 2-year terms and you have 4 appointments that are representing the various townships or areas of the county. And then there are 4 appointees by virtue of office. So first, we'll take the 4 current appointees for the county. And the current appointees are Dave Brigham, Phil Shooter, Carl Joe Flamion, and Steve Howell. And all 4 of these have indicated they wish to be reappointed. There have been no other interests from the county for these appointments. And then, depending on how you want to do this, then the other appointments are the mayor of Cannleton, the mayor of Tell City, the council, and they have already made their appointment, which was David Achen. And then we need a commissioner. And in the past, it's been Tom Hauser.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to, however you want to do this. I don't know that, since none of them are opposed, that we need to take them individually. So Greg or Randy?
I motion that we take all of them at once.
Normally you do, if you're fine with these appointments.
And I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second. Vote, Randy,
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
A motion made and second and carried 3-0.
Okay. The next thing I have is the Health Board. It's a 4-year term. You have 1 appointment on that. Your current appointee is a general public appointment, and it's currently held by Eric Dickinson. And Eric has indicated he wants to be appointed. There has been another new interest. Her name is Monica Weisling Stutzman.
Okay, the party affiliation is, did they take that out of the state statute for that position? I know the state has started taking that party affiliation out.
No,
of-
it's still in place. It's still in place, but with the current makeup of the board, you are fine with appointing either person.
Okay. Well, I will say that Eric has been very active with, we've had these COVID-19 task force meetings. He's been attending those and he's been doing a very good job with it, with his position on the board. It's not just a figurehead. So that's my 2 cents worth.
I'll make a motion to put Eric back on there.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. Go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion made, second carried 3-0 to reappoint Eric. And I do want to thank Ms. Stutzman for applying. I mean, I've been in this in government about 10 years. When I first started, there wasn't any people applying for these positions, and it was the same names. And going back, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but going back, we have different names on pretty much all of the appointments, and that's a good thing. We got a few people that have applied for more than one, and that's encouraged also. But I do want to thank Ms. Stutzman for putting her name in the hat, and I want to thank Eric for the job that he's been doing also. So, okay, Teresa?
Okay, the next is the Hospital Association. It is a 4-year term. You have one appointment. The current appointee is Sean Reese. And I do have him noted that this is a Democrat position. And Sean has indicated that he does want to be reappointed. We've also had another interest from Ms. Stutzman, but I am not sure what party she is from. I did respond to her email, and I never got a reply yet to know what her party is. But that's where we're at this point.
Okay, I would like, Chris, Jonathan, could you give a real quick description of what the Hospital Association, what the role is?
Very minimal, actually. The Hospital Association owns the hospital and leases it to the Board of Trustees of the Perry County Hospital. The Hospital Association meets one time a year presently, and that is to be given a organizational meeting where they elect officers and have a brief discussion over the finances of the hospital, and that's it. So now that could change if, for example, the hospital is funded by bonds. So if, for example, the bonds were to be refinanced or something like that, that would be the job of the Perry County Hospital Association. But otherwise, they don't have any day-to-day operating authority over the hospital or anything. It's that's all done by the Perry County Hospital Board of Trustees. Hope that helps.
Any comment, Randy or Greg?
I'd like to nominate Monica, but without knowing that she's a Democrat, it's hard to do that because it's a requirement, right, that she is, according to the way the paper's written? Or no?
Yes, that is one of them that's required, the political affiliation.
Is this one that we can table until our next meeting?
Your choice.
A motion that we
I can
table it.
entertain a motion to table. Okay,
I'm okay with tabling it and just see once. That'd be fair, I would think, so.
okay. Motion to table this appointment till we find out a political affiliation of the other interest by Greg and seconded by Randy. So we'll go to a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, also aye. Motion made, second carried 3-0 to postpone or to table this till we find out information.
Okay. Your next appointments are to the Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission. These are 1-year terms. You have 2 at-large appointments and a commissioner appointment. Current at-large appointees are Tara Damon and Joe Herman, and your commissioner appointment is Tom Hauser. And I have received letters of interest from both Tara and Joe, and there has been a new interest, Chris Axton. At least one of these 3 need to be a commissioner. I know the membership of Indiana 15 needs to be, I think, 2/3 of elected officials. So it's important that at least one commissioner still remain on this board, if not 2.
I'm gonna make a comment. I've been on this for several years with Mr. Herman and Tara, and I'll vouch for both of them that they're very active. And the role of this board of directors is to basically run the business of the Indiana 15. The grant applications and the nuts and bolts of what they do is done by the staff. We just give them the tools that they need to carry out these for the county, just so it's clear what the role of what that committee is. But Tara and Joe have both been very active and an asset to the organization.
Hey, Tom, do you want to take one at a time or do you want to take them all together?
I'll entertain a motion either way. I mean,
Okay. I'll make a motion, Tara, Joe, and if you want to serve as commissioner, I'll add that to that motion.
okay. Greg?
Second.
Okay, motion made and second to retain the three members that are on there and go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Okay, motion made, second, carried 3-0.
Okay. The next thing I have is your delegate for the Perry County Development Corporation. It's a one-year appointment and you have one delegate. Current delegate appointee is Tom Hauser. This can still, I mean, Tom is also the director, so this may remain as the director, but it doesn't have to be. So it's up to you whether you want another commissioner or if you want to keep it the same.
Really, only duties, what I've seen in the past, is for the annual meeting, right, Teresa?
Yes, and that's coming
Delegate.
up. That's coming up, yes.
I'll nominate Tom for that delegate.
Second.
Okay. Motion made and second. Randy, vote.
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second, carried 3-0.
Okay, next thing is the Personnel Policy Committee for the county. Has to be a commissioner. Current appointee is Tom Hauser. It's a one-year appointment.
Thank you, Tom, and I nominate you.
I'll second that before he does.
All right, before I make a different motion, okay, we got a motion and we got second, so go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Well, I don't have any choice, then it's, we'll carry it 3-0.
Okay, the next thing is the Perry County Plan Commission. It's a 4-year terms. You have 2 appointments. The current appointees are Tara Damon and Pat Temple. These are party affiliated appointments. Tara does wish to be reappointed. However, Mr. Temple does not. We thought we had a new interest, but this person does not own property in the unincorporated area.
So go
And,
ahead.
A
and explain.
requirement of the Plan Commission, you either have to live in the unincorporated area, or if you live in the county, you must own some property in the unincorporated area. So that will leave a vacancy there.
Does that include the unincorporated? It does include the planning and zoning area, I guess, isn't that right, Chris? It's outside of the city limits or not?
The jurisdiction of the zone planning and zoning board.
I think it has to be outside the 2-mile jurisdictional limits of the cities, right, Teresa?
Yes, I believe so, because for Tell City, we have appointments that are within that area for the Tell City planning.
Right.
Well,
So
this
the person has to own real estate outside of the 2-mile jurisdictional area.
well, this is a very important board, and I just hope that we get some interest. As of right now, of the 2 appointments, we only have 1 qualifying interest, correct, Teresa?
That's correct. And let me just verify this, but I'm pretty sure with the makeup of the board, the appointment, the vacancy can be a Democrat or a Republican with the current makeup. If you reappoint Tara, then that will make 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans.
So the 7th.
Or actually, no, 2 and 2, sorry. 2 and 2. And then that leaves that 5th position could be either way.
I motion that we go ahead and appoint Tara and then just leave the other one for the next meeting. Because we don't have anyone, right?
Correct.
Right, maybe somebody will step up.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second. Go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Okay, motion made, second, carried 3-0.
Okay, and I made a note that Tara is also appointed to the Zoning Appeals Board by Indiana Code. That's under the Plan Commission. 2 members of the Plan Commission are also on the Zoning Appeals Board. One is appointed by the Plan Commission and one is appointed by the commissioners. So currently Tara is your Plan Commission appointment that is also appointed to the Zoning Appeals Board. So that's why I have that next on the list, Zoning Appeals. You have 1 appointment, which is a 4-year term and currently held by Tara Damon. You still have a vacancy from a past position that resigned, and that term ends 2021. Still looking for someone else to also be on the Zoning Appeals Board.
So this appointment is the commissioner's appointment, and then the Plan Commission will have the
It's
other
your-
one. Is that correct?
If you appoint Tara and keep things as they are, Tara would be your Plan Commission appointment to the Zoning Appeals Board.
Okay, and then the Plan Commission will make the other. Correct?
That's correct.
I'll make a motion for Tara on the zoning appeals.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second. Go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Okay, motion made, second. I vote aye, 3-0. Tara is on a 4-year appointment.
Okay. Next thing I have is the Port Authority. And also just to reiterate, the Zoning Appeals Board is kind of like the same jurisdictional thing. You have to live or own property in the jurisdictional area. Port Authority, you have 1 appointment. It's a 4-year term. Your current appointee is Jason Brown, and Jason does wish to be reappointed. You've had new letters of interest from Joe Herman, Chris Axton, and Eric Martin.
I'd like to nominate Chris Axton.
I'd like to nominate Jason Brown.
Okay, so how do we handle this? Is that 2 motions on the floor?
Well, I think I believe in the past, we've always done a second to the motion. So if one doesn't get a second, it dies for lack of a second, then we go on to the next one.
Okay. Well, I'd like to second Randy's motion to retain Jason Brown on there. I guess
Well, should we let that first one die like a motion, Chris? Then start
Well,
over?
I mean,
You have to
Yes.
let Axton, you have to let Axton's either be seconded or die.
that's correct.
Okay, okay.
So Tom, you would need to ask if there's any seconds to Greg's motion.
Okay, any seconds to Greg's motion? Do we have to have a denial or just,
No, just to fail for lack of a
Nope,
second.
silence is denial.
Yep, correct. So since there is no second, then it'd be appropriate for another motion, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for Jason Brown.
Okay. Any seconds? I will make that second. There's only three of us on here. So motion made and second. We'll go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Nay.
Okay, motion made, and I will vote yay. So motion made and second carried 2-1 to retain Jason Brown.
Okay, next thing, you have 3 appointments on the redevelopment commission. They're 1-year terms. Your current appointees are Paul Malone, Jared Kleeman, and Michael Snyder. We did not get a reply from Mr. Snyder. We have gotten letters of interest from Paul Malone and Jared Kleeman. And new interests are Joe Herman, Adam Everard, Bill Amos, Philip Simpson, Keith Huck, Carol Hagedorn, David Aichen, Tony Thomas, Chris Axton, Tom McCart, Kelly Harding, and Sherry Flynn.
Okay, any discussion?
You want to take one of these at a time, right, Tom?
Yeah, like we did with the other appointments.
Yes. Yeah, it makes
Multiple.
sense. Yeah.
I'd like to nominate David Aichen.
I'll second that.
Okay, David Aichen second, or motion made to put David Aichen and seconded and go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Motion made, and I vote aye, made and carried 3-0 to appoint David Aichen for one of the positions.
I'd like the motion Carol Hagedorn.
Any seconds? Okay, motion died for lack of second.
I'll make a motion for Paul Malone.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made to appoint Paul Malone and seconded. We'll go to a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Motion made. I vote aye also. So motion made and second and carried 3-0 for the second appointment to be Paul Malone.
I'd like the motion for Tony Thomas.
Okay, no second, motion dies for lack of second.
I'll make a motion for Bill Amos.
Okay, second? I will second that. The motion was made and second. Go for a vote. Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Nay.
Okay, motion made and carried 2-1. Bill Amos as the third appointment to the redevelopment commission. Okay, and I do appreciate all of the interest. I think this is the first time we've had a list that long, and that's good. And looking through all of the boards, like I said earlier, when I first came on as commissioner, it seemed like all the boards were just the same names. And we've gotten a lot more people involved, and that was one of the goals that we had when I first got on this commission, that we advertised the board appointments at least 6 weeks ahead of time. And I think that over the years, it's starting to work. So thank everyone. I hope we did. I know people are disappointed, but we only have so many appointments we can put on. So thanks everyone for putting their name in the hat. All right. Anything on miscellaneous?
I just want to let you all know that the county has been chosen to present the project for Steel Road to NDOT this Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. It's going to be a virtual meeting. And I think Tom still plans to attend that. It's just a 10-minute chance to present our support for this project. And I'll keep you posted regarding the outcome.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Pam, we got you covered from the beginning. You have anything else, Pam Goffin?
No, I don't.
Okay. Next meeting?
Next meeting will be Tuesday, January 19th at 8 a.m. And that will be a virtual meeting as well.
Okay, yeah, it'll be Zoom. This Zoom's working pretty decent, so now we've got the bugs out. So, all right, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.